Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mentorship Mondays with Michelle and Maren. It is so good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. And this is really exciting. This is what Maren and I love to do. We love to have people in our community that are amazing, that are light workers, that have so much to share. And we have two special guests today. Before I introduce them, how you doing, Maren? How's it going?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Michelle. Busy as always. My
Yeah,
son is in a play this weekend, or a musical, excuse me, a musical. So I've been busy at the theater all weekend.
yeah,
But excited for the football game. We're recording on Sunday. The Super Bowl is tonight.
right.
So everybody
Yeah,
listening will know who won, and I can't wait to find out. So
that's right. We're not much of a football family, I have to be honest, but we do like the food. That's what can I say? I have to be honest. But I will say I was always interested in the halftime show. I did,
yeah,
usually check that out. But
yeah,
okay, well, let's get on with our guests. Let's introduce them.
yeah.
So this is everybody. Meet Jen and Teddy. And so, Jen, wave your hands. Everybody knows who you are. Teddy, raise your hands. Everybody knows who you are.
Good morning, good day.
So, actually, Jen and Teddy are not that far locally from me. I think you guys are what, maybe 3 hours north, 2.5 hours north from me
Yeah,
in
Yeah,
London. Yeah. So, I've not had the privilege of actually meeting Jen and Teddy in person,
that
but
will happen.
that will happen. That is in the works. That is in the works. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. But um, I've met with both of them and had a session and conversations with both of them. And they are amazing, beautiful light workers that have awesome stories and do awesome, amazing work. And not only are they doing that today, but they have so much in store for the future. And so, what I'm going to tell you before we give them a chance to talk, I'm going to read a little description so that I make sure to include all of the goodies and all the details before I start wandering all over the place in conversation. So, let me, and if everybody likes the sound, that's thankful to my new microphone. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so this is Jen and Teddy from Spiritually You. They are they are light workers focused on healing, teaching, and guidance. They came together to combine gifts and utilize different healing modalities, which we are going to talk about, to customize services and accommodate their clients' needs. So, Jen is a psychic medium, energy reader, and Reiki practitioner. Teddy is a yoga instructor, Reiki master, and a crystal healer. Teddy also offers Reiki infused tarot card readings. That sounds super interesting. I can't wait to talk about that. So, together they offer group, individual, corporate events, workshops, crafts, as well as readings, Reiki, crystal journey healing sessions, yoga, meditation, retreats, Reiki infused yoga, and Reiki infused sound healing. So they're continuing to collaborate and create new services and experience for their clients. So they're available on Instagram. So we will make sure to have their Instagram information and, of course, their website at spiritualityu.ca. And you guys will be able to go and check them out and see all the services. It's a beautiful website, and we'll make sure all of that is in the description below. So this is pretty awesome, and there's a lot of different things that I'm excited to talk about and hear how you came together with these ideas, what it does, everything. But before I start that, of course, I'm going to I'd like to talk about how we even got connected in the first place, because it is a little bit of a story. And I always say to you guys when we're talking, we bring different guests up. It's absolutely amazing the ways that we come together. And if y'all know Eric, and I'm sure most people that are watching this know who Eric is, and he has had this magnificent way of connecting people. He is our spirit networker, matchmaker in heaven that will line us all together at the perfect time when we're ready to begin to open ourselves up. And of course, as we know, Eric will get right behind us and do those little pushes to keep pushing us forward. And Jen is nodding because she knows exactly how that feels and what that's like. So that's exactly what happened when I received an email one day. And we were just talking before the show and thinking, when was that? When was that we were connected? And I'm like, was that 3 years ago? Jen says, no, that was 2018. I'm like, 2018? And like, Maren, I think that was the same year we connected, wasn't it? Was it 2018? I think it was. Like, that's a while ago. Yeah, like that's a big year. That's a big year. Because a lot of things happened that year as coming together, collaboration. And you guys were saying, Jen and Teddi, you guys connected that year as well, did you not? Is that what you were saying before? Yeah, in 2018. So a big year. So I remember getting an email and I felt right away like I knew Jen. I didn't even know that she was close by. We talk to different people around the world and we don't always know exactly where they all are until we get to know each other better. And she was talking a bit about what was happening in her life and where things were going. And Eric kept poking me saying, she's medium. And he's like, she's ready. She's going to start expanding. And he wanted to make sure that she knew who was around her and that he was one of them, guiding her and helping her, and that she would be very shortly doing this work. And she was already having communication. So like many of us, we get to this point where we know things are happening. We know we're having communication and we're looking for that little extra confirmation. Like that, okay, I am hearing this, right? Like I'm not in another world, right? Like and it's important to do that. We do teach like you don't need the validation, but at points we do. And it's good to have the validation because it helps give us that foundation to then springboard off of and carry on. So it wasn't long after that we had our first meeting and I met Jen's dad and I did meet her mom later on and got to know Jen and her family. And so we've been communicating since 2018 and getting to know each other. And I'll let Jen tell the full story. I won't give out all the nuggets of what she's experienced and what she's been through because it's important to the journey of where she is and Teddi is today. So, but yeah, that's how we came together. And I'm just thinking right now, it never ceases to amaze me, the timing, that perfect timing and that surrender of as we just do our thing, we work through our things and we trust. We trust that things are happening behind the scenes and we don't always know exactly what it's going to lead to down the road. But here we are today. So, Jen, I'll let you start. Tell us, you pick up there and tell us the important details of what brings you to today. Like, and start out maybe, what actually are you and Teddi doing today? Excuse me. What are you doing? And then let us know, let's rewind back to around that time and what was going on and what brought you guys to today.
Today we are focusing more on creating new, unique experiences. And collaborating either with just ourselves or bringing other people in collaboration. We're really wanting to tailor everything that people need because it's not normally just one thing. They can benefit from multiple different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of in the midst of doing that. Um, just kind of getting out there and seeing what doors open, opportunities open.
Mm-hmm.
We have been very um, blessed, I guess, to have people reaching out to us saying, "Would you like to come to this event?" and whatnot, and collaborating even with a local resort here that we work with now too.
Nice.
It's just since we came together, things have just been climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Some great experiences. We're mobile, so we go all over the place. We don't have a set location.
Yep.
So we can bring experiences to people individually as well as online, virtually, distance
You guys
as well.
do, like you've already done group events and you guys go to locations. I know we've talked about that before too, which I think is amazing. So you will, so for example, working with a resort or a business or um, even have you done like homes where people get together as a group in a home?
Yeah, we've
And
done like girls' nights,
mm,
bachelorette parties,
yeah.
or just get-togethers,
Reunions.
reunions. We've done that. At the resort, we'll do like the big dinner and a medium
Oh, that's
experience,
awesome.
as well
Mhm.
as we started creating the sound healing, Reiki infused sound healing there as well. Um,
A Reiki infused
a
yoga.
Reiki infused yoga was, yeah,
So
and
how do you guys incorporate your talents? Like if you're going to go work at the resort or have a girls' party, because Jen, you're the medium, and Teddy, you're more of the yoga Reiki healer. Is that how a good way to describe you guys?
Yes, for the most part, I am intuitive and working on different aspects of that. So, Jen, that's kind of part of our story as well. Jen really helps me with that. So, that's where I've added kind of that Reiki infused tarot card readings. So, um, we can sit together and kind of connect together, and then I do a reading that way. And so I'm finding that that's where I'm able to kind of intuitively connect with that individual, with spirit, and whatnot. So a little bit I'm moving into that, but for we tend to do, if we're doing a yoga infused, then I will do the yoga and Jen can kind of float around the room and bring the energy to everyone, and then we end it with a little one-on-one. We each go around the room during shavasana and give a little bit of touch Reiki to the individuals as well. Similarly to the sound bath, we'll both kind of play the instruments and walk around and do an infusion of the yoga. Sometimes I'll meditate through that, just guiding people on a little bit of a journey. And then we can also offer the one-on-one touch Reiki at the end of that as well. So those are just kind of, I guess, a couple examples of how we infuse our modalities together and make the experience based on kind of what the individuals are looking for.
I can feel it. Can you feel
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes me really want to know your story now too. That's
yeah,
so interesting. How
yeah.
did you, how did, so yeah, so tell us, how did you find out you had these abilities? I love that you're saying that you're still growing. What happened?
Yeah.
okay. Um, I've always had these abilities, um, and I relate big time to Michelle and the childhood experiences. I'm very similar that way. Um, and then it wasn't until about 2017 when I got really sick and I wasn't able to work anymore as a nurse because I have a nursing background. That my gifts at the same time amplified, I guess you could say. And then shortly after there, that's when Eric started communicating with me. and then pushing me towards Michelle. So that's why I wrote that email. So I'm like, I'm just going to take a leap of faith and here we go. See what happens. And then I had to almost, I didn't have the confidence or believe what I was getting was almost real. So also at the same time, my health was declining. I was having a lot of mental health issues at the same time. So it was a little bit blurry. But then in 2020, the beginning of 2020, I got visited by Eric and my grandfather who passed and some archangels, and they sat me down and they told me that my dad had cancer. At the time, he had symptoms, but the specialists were certain that this was not cancer, and they already had a diagnosis technically for him. They said just basically write it in a note, give it to him later. So when he was diagnosed about 4 months later, I was able to give him that note. So in that kind of between my dad's diagnosis and me giving messages to him was a big part of my growth as a medium. And then I worked closely with Eric. Eric was very much a part of my dad's spiritual team. And he just unfortunately passed away this past November, but we also were able to give him at least 2 more years than that they ever expected with Reiki and messages that helped his mental health and gave him passion and will to keep going, inspiration. So my journey with my mediumship really took off during that period of time. And then I started practicing on other people. And then that's really how you and I, like we knew each other at the school because our kids go to school, but that was the first time that we really connected that way. And I did a reading for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like at this point, I'm getting people's names like clearly.
Yeah, you're good. You're very good.
All of this information, and it's just for me it was a leap of faith. You put yourself out there. I'm like a person who likes to be organized and know exactly what I'm going to say and be prepared. You can't always do that with this line of work, so it's taken me out of my comfort zone, and I have to Teddy helps me a lot with that, as well as my own spiritual team, and Eric is definitely there pushing me.
What is their biggest tip to you? Because that's definitely, I'm the same way. I like to be prepared as well. And I was actually just telling a friend, I'm like, the hardest part about this is like, if I was going to have a meeting with someone, I would have all my stuff prepared. And this, you just have to show up. And it's so nerve-wracking to like, just trust that spirit's going to be there and that you're going to get all this information. So what are they saying to you? Like, what's the biggest?
Eric helped me come up with some strategies. Now I don't use them as much, but just kind of that bridging process of being comfortable. If I had a reading the night before, I would sit down and connect, and I'd be able to write all this information out. So at least I took that information with me, so I had something to go by.
Yeah.
It's almost like a safety net, is what he called it.
Yep.
Until I got my confidence up and was realizing the information I was receiving was accurate and it validated the messages that they needed to hear. So, sorry, I'm still fighting a cold, so my throat kind of goes in and out.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. You're doing great.
Yeah, I've had some amazing experiences. Eric's piping in and saying that a lot of my sessions will also be almost like a therapy session. And it's just the goal of healing and giving messages and helping any way that we can. That way that we focus on is our main priority.
Do you find that your nursing background, does that come into play a lot? Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Helps me be able to communicate with people, like not spirit, but people
Yeah.
that are going through challenging times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Knowing coping strategies,
Yeah.
all of that information that I have, I could use.
Yeah. And even the the medical challenges that you've had and what you've had to work through.
Yes, I have a very rare disease. I have a couple of very rare diseases actually. But the main one is to do with my immune system. It's called CVID,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a primary immune deficiency. Um, so I get sick a lot,
Mm-hmm.
especially through cold and flu season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has also caused some issues with my liver, so I have some issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do well, not weekly, it used to be weekly, but monthly IVIG infusions with the immunoglobulin therapy. But I get such severe side effects from it. I get aseptic meningitis
Hmm.
with it every month. So we have to, it's a blessing, but it's a curse at the same time. It's forced me to take care of myself, kind of watch my own energy.
Yeah.
Rest and recoup.
Rest, it kind of forces me to do so, or I would just keep going.
Yes.
Um, but we work around my infusion schedule, and that's what we do.
Yeah. I think that's so important that you just said that to be able to say, the benefit to what you're experiencing, because it's so easy for us to go into that thought of it's holding me back, but looking at it, because it's not just one thing, there's many different reasons why we experience what we do, and being able to see that and understand that, yeah, my health is very important and I do need this downtime, because
Yeah,
a
and
lot of
I
energy
find
is flowing
it's
through.
exactly, you're absolutely right. And I found that a lot of these experiences that I've experienced personally helps me be more able to relate to the person that I'm talking with. So
Yes.
I'm able to use some
Yeah.
of the strategies that I've learned and trying to be more positive, optimistic, look at the benefits of a situation is something that I bring forward in my readings and guidance.
Yeah. Could you explain, how do you perceive spirit? Like, what is that experience for you when they come through? How does that
How
look,
do
feel, sound?
oh, I hear, I see like through my third eye. Although I
Mm-hmm.
will see like silhouettes of energy, like with my actual eyes, but mostly my third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably clear cognizance, like they put a lot of thoughts into my mind that I know that aren't mine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I said I hear them, but I also feel energy as well as I will physically feel them touch me. I get that a lot. Um, and then the emotions, I'll feel the emotions as well. So they kind of
Yeah.
communicate with me with all of the above.
They use everything. Everything. And it's so interesting because as you're talking, what I'm sensing as well is that, Teddi, your energy, like, I can feel how it works together. So I can sense how it almost grounds your energy, and you must have done some energy work before you came on today too, because there's a lot coming off the both of you, but it really works well together. A lot like how Maren and I work together. Our energy does things that we're not cognitively aware of, but we feel. we can feel that support, and it's amplifying, because when you're able to connect on that level with somebody, it has the ability, because your intention is to help. Your intentions are to do good, to use what's naturally within the two of you that you continue to expand and work on. And the intention is to allow that to flow into other people, to elevate their lives, to heal their whatever is going on in their lives. And that energy is, when it becomes mirrored and the intentions are the same, boy, oh boy, like that just does things that are beyond what we can even comprehend. And coming together, those doors do open, because it's not just one of you. When lights come together like candles, they light and light and light, and they just illuminate everywhere. It's really amazing. So the two of you first met through the school, through your kids, which is so cool. And then, so Jen, you gave Teddi a reading, right? So Teddi, what about you? So back us up to where you were at that time, and what had brought you to that point before you met Jen.
I think like we knew each other through our kids, and it sort of got through the grapevine, so to speak, that Jen might have been a medium. And I think that I asked her like for a reading. I have a lot of mental health struggles, and I was struggling then. My dad was sick, and my husband's grandfather was ill and with us, and there was just like kind of a lot of things happening. So I thought that I would try a reading, and to be honest, it was my first reading like ever.
Oh wow. Wow.
I've had cards read, but I've never had a mediumship reading. And in that reading, Jen brought forth Helen by name, who is who you picked up on, Michelle, right away. That's my husband's grandmother, who is my grandmother. She was my mother. She was so close to me. So Jen said right from there that she was kind of always there. And I don't know, I can feel her. So my lack of is that I still have that doubt. I still have that little bit, but Jen helps to ground that, and helps to balance that, and helps to make things real and safe, not so unsure. But I completely relate. Like, I have papers just in case I needed notes, right? Because it's scary. It's scary to not be able to know kind of what is on the other side of things. But as I look at my life, I know that I've been connected to spirit since very, very young. I remember climbing into this beautiful tree and like singing to my grandfather so young, and he had passed when I was so young, and he would just listen, and I knew he was just listening. So it's something that's always kind of been there, and Jen's kind of worked with me to give me the support, to trust, because ultimately that's what it is, right? Trusting in ourselves, trusting in the bigger energies, the bigger picture, that sort of thing.
And the relationship, so like the friendship, that trust, right? The foundation of trust in the friendship that really helps you go into that vulnerable space. You know, I think that that's very important too.
Yeah, it makes it very comforting, I think. To have that team, like we're kind of like a little team, you know, as much as we have separate energies, we really do magnify together.
So were you a Reiki practitioner before she did the reading for you, or was she the one that helped you get into that?
So I had looked into Reiki and that sort of energy field of life always. I had taken my Reiki 1, 2, 3, but I had no confidence in it. I couldn't I couldn't feel I could feel it in my hands, but I couldn't that's all that it felt like to me was that it was within my hands. And Jen and I did Reiki together and on an individual that wanted some Reiki. So I was kind of like, Jen, what do I do? I'm really nervous. And she said, well, I can come with you and support you. And I asked my client, would you be open to us doing Reiki together? And she was very open to it. And it just flowed. It really was beautiful. It was like a little dance sequence. We were just intertwined. And that's when I truly was able to express myself in an energetic way and
Wow.
really, truly able to feel that trust in my ability to connect.
Wow.
So
That's
in
awesome.
short, yes and no. Jen's been she is definitely my anchor in this. She's helped
Yeah.
me see myself.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is so
'Cause
neat that
you've
you
always,
both,
yeah.
play off each other and anchor each other and support each other and help each other, like, realize your gifts. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is. That is. So, um, I want to ask you guys some questions about some of your services. One in
Oh,
particular, I think Maren,
me too.
Maren and I are super
Which one are
curious
you?
about
Yeah.
the
I really,
the crystal.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Oh,
okay,
yes.
that's the one. Hang on, I'm gonna so I can properly say what it is here. But
As soon as I read that,
is
I
it?
was like, oh my gosh, I have to find out.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful. I would say that Jen and I utilize crystals in all of our healings. I really connect well to the crystalline energy. So when I do Reiki, I utilize crystals with the chakras to help balance. But if I'm
Hmm.
bringing you on a crystal healing journey, then we really travel a little bit deeper. And that really depends on how deep you would like to travel, where you would like to go, and that sort of healing aspects. So we really connect to that third eye. We really get within the body and see where we go. Sometimes you visit, your childhood self. Sometimes you visit someone who you're going to become. Sometimes you just stay with yourself and you look at where you are and what that means. So it really is my intuitive abilities helping to guide you with your inner self and your energy. And the crystals help to explore those different regions. So I can use different crystals to bring you a little bit deeper, to bring you into different realms. And that, of course, depends on how deep the individual would like to travel.
Do you do that like,
That
so
is
you're in,
really cool.
yeah. So you do
Thank
that
you.
in your Reiki session? Do you do that through meditation, or do you do like how do you bring the person into
All
the
of the
different
above.
realms? Okay.
So when we do it with Reiki, we're really utilizing those crystals to balance the energy. That's the intention that we set with them. That's the intention that I set. So I'll utilize different crystals like hematite, for example, to ground the area. So whenever I do Reiki, I always have kind of that bubble of hematite to ground the area to make us feel really connected and earthy. And then different crystals throughout the chakras will help balance and bring them to where they need to be. Sometimes that can be very connected to the colors, like most people would automatically assume the colors connect to the chakras, and they do. But sometimes you want things like that you know, that ability to speak your truth, to come into your heart. Sometimes you want that calm feeling into your solar plexus. So you can really kind of play with those crystals. My biggest thing with crystals is that they just vibrate at the energy that you need them to. So it's really self-interpreted as well. As much as I'm guiding and pushing and bringing you, not pushing, that's not the right word, guiding and bringing you to where you need to, it really depends on yourself, on how far you want to go. And that is in a meditative state. So this can be done virtually, of course, where I'm sitting in a similar format like this, and the individual is just comfortably sitting, laying, however they want to be, similar to a Reiki session. And then I would just utilize different crystals to help with the guide. And that's very much a, we speak. So I talk to them, I ask open-ended questions, and they kind of describe what's going on and where it is. And then we kind of look at why that came up and where we can go with that and see where it brings us. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that is really good because it's the crystals amplify the energy. So like you were saying, it's where the individual is open to how deep they're wanting to go. Crystals are amplifiers. So it's going to mirror that intention. And then this is something that people can also do on Zoom with you, right?
Absolutely.
Like they don't have to be in person. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
because
that's really
crystals,
good.
again, are energy. So I'm setting the intention for them to do what they need. The space to travel is unlimited for the energy.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Just like
and everybody
exactly.
Yes.
Well,
There's no restriction to time and space.
Yeah.
No restriction. And I would encourage you guys, because their website is truly beautiful and it's very easy to navigate. The explanation of the services and how to book are awesome. Their prices are awesome. They're really good. So no matter where you are in the world, check them out before they become booked out, before they're all booked up, because I know that you guys already have a busy schedule, and the more that you'll be doing retreats as well, right? You're going to be
3 retreats that are coming up. I know the door won't open.
Sorry, I don't want out, but we can't get the door open,
okay.
so we'll just continue to ignore them.
We're a dog-loving
life.
group over here, so they're fine. Yeah.
Everybody's used to Maren and I's things that take place.
Okay.
No life, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the whole reason. Yep.
When we're talking about the retreats that we have coming up.
Yes, we have 3 retreats in the planning. Pretty excited. We have one coming up in March, and it's an overnight retreat. The energy and theme around that's going to be the new moon, a time of manifesting and creating. So we're really going to take advantage of that, and have different offerings. We will have some psychic mediumship, of course, Reiki, sound journeys. We'll add in the crystalline energy because we always do. And then we have another one coming up in June for the summer solstice. So that will be a nice day retreat. And we're hosting them all in Moonstone here at a beautiful Airbnb. And we
can you just tell me where are you guys located again? Can you just say that again?
Moonstone, north of Barrie, about 20 minutes north of Barrie.
Right by
the name Moonstone, though. It's like
the name Moonstone.
The magical moon.
Like, come on. Yeah,
right by
that's
Mount
amazing.
St. Marie Moonstone Ski Resort.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. And we back onto the Simcoe County Forest, so it's really a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
Activities we'll do in the forest itself as well. And then we have another big weekend retreat that we're planning for September for the full moon. We have some special guests. One of our collaborators is coming out from Newfoundland. We have a couple other local people that are coming out. So we really truly hope that the retreats are something lovely, and we're going to host them all here in Moonstone at this perfect little spot we found.
Sounds like you've
that is
created,
awesome.
yeah, it sounds like you have created a community. Like, is it just through your yoga Reiki healings? How have you found your community of people?
Myself?
Or
Yeah, like
together?
the
Through
people
the
that are going on the retreats.
ship, through
Yeah.
the Reiki,
Through our events, socials, we flood socials. We really do. And then word of
markets,
mouth.
word of mouth.
Markets. We've had a lot of people contact us actually for markets and different kind of psychic medium fairs. We have one coming up in March that we're invited to. So it's, yeah, our socials. We make the posts and Jen pushes them out into every group that will allow it. We're new. We are on Instagram. We post all our stuff there. We're going to get a little bit more reels and stuff like that going, which we do post reels. But that's our base right now is word of mouth, social media, and our current followers. Jen's also grew up in the town that we work in, Coldwater. So she's been here her whole life. So a lot of people know her and your family. So that's nice as well because it gives you that trust in what we do, right? It's something that's kind of
Yes.
unique. So it's nice
Yeah.
to have that trust.
And
Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah.
of course, he's tapping me saying he does a lot of networking for us, connecting people, bringing them to us.
Yes, he certainly does. Yeah, he
That's
does.
amazing.
And that is, it's pretty awesome because again, it's your intention. So when you're open and you take action, and action is not always easy, right? You take those baby steps and then you take some bigger steps that you're not really sure exactly where it's going, but you know what you feel and you trust it and the intention is pure. And with that, that's just sky's the limit. And that will attract and help spirit to be able to connect the dots and bring all those people to you and have you connect with the right individuals because it's all for the purpose of helping. It's service. It's one of the most beautiful things ever to see it organically move, and grow. So it's truly amazing. You guys are excellent, excellent examples of light and love and trust. Yeah.
Well, I love with the service, Jen's story and her awakening all has to do with service about helping her dad. So that's just
Yeah,
amazing.
it's beautiful.
He's learning things. He was able to really grow spiritually during that time as well. He really opened up and had a whole new outlook. So I'm happy we were able to do that. Now he's seeing things from the other side and seeing how this works, and he was always intrigued. So he's kind of like, oh, that's how this is happening. kind of energy that I get because he comes with me now to events and everything. Yeah, he's
real proud of you. And Teddy, your dad passed in 2018, so when you and Jen came together,
In
and
20,
in 2020.
yes,
And
which is right around the time that Jen would have done the reading.
right. Okay.
And that was when your dad was diagnosed.
He was diagnosed in the spring of 2020.
Yeah. And my dad died in the fall.
Yeah.
So we kind of went through that together as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a powerful, the two of you have connected through a very powerful, like through grief and through communication and understanding. That is a challenging walk, but so infused with love and connection. And both your dads are very proud and guiding you from the other side, which I know you both feel, which is incredible. You have a lot to offer. Is the both of you have a great deal of experience in many different areas of life. You've touched a lot of things that have taken both of you to dig really deep and work through. And I love that you've both touched upon the mental health and touched upon the challenges, and to really give inspiration to really understand that, we do have hard times. We do go through hard times, and there are ways through it. We can do it, and we can reach out and find connection, and it comes in many different shapes and sizes of how that comes about. But you're both a beautiful testimony of working through those things and being able to show up for yourselves, for your families, and show up for your community, and then some, to really help everyone else do the same. So it's incredible. And thank you. Thank you for doing that. I know, Maren, do you have anything that you wanted to add or ask?
Yeah, I know, Jen, it seems like your journey from not really knowing you had any gift to really honing it and creating this business. Do you have any words of advice or suggestions to anyone who is just starting out on this journey? I feel like you kind of, you were so quick to develop, and I know many people spend many years. So I feel like you have to have some advice for how do we get to the next level? What do we do? What was key in your awakening and growth?
Well, like I said, I always knew I had abilities. So I just didn't know exactly what it was. So I kind of grew from that point. It wasn't like I grew from not knowing anything to where I am now. But what helped me grow my gifts more was I was kind of put in a spot where I was physically very uncomfortable. So I was pushed to do the healing. I was pushed to open myself up, um, which kind of, and I don't have like a lot of patience. So I like to be like, okay, now I've made my mind up, now I want to do it. So that also played a part in it. Um, as well as more of the experiences that I was able to have also was amazing. And seeing the impact of the readings was amazing. That gave me more motivation, but I really had to work on the mental health. But like I said, I was in such an uncomfortable state that I was forced to do so. And then that forced me basically to take a leap of faith. Because I kind of just like, you know what, this is what's happening. What do I have to lose? I'm already kind of feeling at rock bottom. It just changed my perspective of thinking about the situation. And then aligning myself with people that I trusted, that I could open up to, and that I could give readings to. That's why I went through a period of practicing on people that I could trust and be open with to help. It was about helping build my confidence, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would do, is find someone that you can trust and open, that has the same like alignment as you, same interest. That's what really helped me, was Teddi. She really helped me come out of and just be me,
Let's do it.
which then
At the same
made my
time.
ability stronger. I
Yeah.
found it's like removing
Yeah.
blocks, I guess. Yeah.
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 And of course,
Did
I have, sorry, a big spiritual support system that I really work with as a team. So it's keeping that in mind as well. That you're a part of a team, that you can rely on them and they will always be there. You just have to quiet your mind and your nerves, your anxiety, and information will flow. That's been my experience anyway.
And something that I'm just thinking too, because I know there's a lot of people that listen and watch us on YouTube that comment about how they'll say, I wish I had a Maren. And I know there's people thinking, I wish I had a Jen to my Teddi and Teddi to my Jen, like wishing they had that connection with somebody to grow with, to work with. And, just as an idea too, like if you're listening or you're watching, put yourself down in the comments and ask if there's anybody that would like to connect. You may not be in the same part of the world, but we are a community supporting the growth, the spiritual growth in each other, the continuous, regardless of what your, whether you want to do something in service for others or you're looking to grow your own connection and understanding of yourself to work through challenges that you have in your life, there's going to be somebody there to match with you. And, one of the biggest things that really helped me in the beginning was I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody to really connect with in the way that I felt that I wanted. And Eric had, said to me, put your name out there, like on the Channeling Eric blog, on the Facebook group. He kept saying, post, tell them who you are. And it ended up connecting with somebody that wasn't that far from me locally, but she was part of a little circle who Michael Christopher, which is going to be a guest on our show again. We've had him once before. That's how I met Michael back in 2015. And we met once a week. And there was 5 of us, I think, at the time. And it was like a little circle. And what we did was we talked about our what was going on, our questions about spirit. Everybody was in different stages. Some people were already working as mediums or healers, and, some of us weren't. And we'd talk about the things that were happening to us. So you never know what you can create. So if anybody's thinking, well, I don't have anybody in my town or my community, and I wish I did have someone to connect to, think that there are things out there. There are people. And this is the beauty that we have with these communities and with the internet, our podcasts, all of these things. We put ourselves out there and raise our hand and say, hey, would anybody like to get together, once a month? Does anybody want to join on Zoom once a month and let's just chat?
And that's all, like we've talked about creating a space for that as well.
Yeah, we run a program even to do exactly that, kind of connect together and dive into your own tuition, look at cards, what do you see, chat with each other, run it by each other, at all different spaces.
We did a couple workshops where it's tune into you, kind of where we would help people tune into their own intuitions and kind of be a support system. But maybe we should turn that to an online thing.
Yeah.
I think that's
Just
a great
like
idea.
A development, like a spiritual awakening. You have so many questions, right? And I also find that you need to find someone that's going to be very supportive and help you in that journey.
Yes.
I unfortunately have heard of people who've had bad experiences, so having a good support community, I think, is very important. So maybe, sorry, I'm losing my voice. So maybe we could do that online instead of trying to just do it in person.
Yeah, do a Zoom. Then we can reach people kind of all over.
We also talked about doing like a Reiki share for Reiki practitioners or energy healers, where we could work on each other. Because
that's a great idea.
Give a lot, right? But we don't I'm not good at following my own advice. So I'll give a lot, but I don't do back to myself. So
Yeah.
just
I would
another,
love to be a part
Yeah.
of that. I feel like
Yeah.
that's so
Yes.
hard. It's easy to practice mediumship online, but there is nothing for Reiki, and practicing Reiki and seeing how
Yeah.
other
Mm-hmm.
people do Reiki, I think is really important. And
Mm-hmm.
getting and receiving the energy is super important. So I
it's
like
a
that.
big
Yeah.
thing of how we grow
Hmm.
and
It is. It
learn
really
and
is.
fine tune our own way of doing things. But it's
Hmm.
uh, it's a
It's
big
so true.
help.
And if you think, when you're on your own, and there's only so much you can do on your own, and because it's all within you, and so to have that observation, to step outside and bounce things off somebody else, bless you, to bounce things off somebody else and to get that feedback, because that helps build that confidence, right? It just helps make that stronger. And I think that's a really great idea. And if anyone's watching or listening and wants to put in the comments, raise your hand and say, makes me think of that TikTok. Raise your hand if you want garlic breadsticks. Sorry, it's just me going off the other direction. Michelle, keep with it. So, but raise your hand in the comments and just say, me, I want to be part of this. And so you guys can get together with people that aren't quite as nuts as me, but that will help you out. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know which
No.
TikTok I'm talking about? Okay.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I'm on my own there.
But I also want to say too that you helped me quite a bit during that awakening period of my life. Eric kept pushing me, and I didn't even know you were local, but Eric kept
Yeah,
pushing
we
me.
didn't figure that out for a little bit, did we?
No,
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was good. But yeah, it's amazing. We all come together in the right time and we help each other. We really do. And I know that for myself, it was a period of time where in the beginning having the others to speak to was so important, because there was people in my life that were a little concerned about my mental state. Like,
yeah, I had the same
is
thing. At first, my
yeah,
parents didn't believe me. So like thinking like, they didn't believe me. So
yeah,
I had to really, I was uncomfortable with being in a position I had to prove myself.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I did. I brought in
yeah,
like my grandparents that passed and was able to give my mom information that she hadn't remembered since she was little, like I wouldn't have known. So I was able to give that validation, but you gotta, like, I still work with skeptics, which
sure,
makes me a little bit more uncomfortable. I have to say, when I'm with someone who fully believes, the energy flows a lot nicer, a lot smoother. But when I'm doing a reading with someone who's more skeptical, it's uh, it's more challenging. I have to dig in deeper.
yes,
I could get there, but I
yes,
have to dig in
that's right,
deeper. And that
yeah,
brings me to a story like at the resort that we have partnered up with now. Um, the manager, she doesn't believe a lot of this stuff. And when we first came in, she's like, I thought your heads would be spinning and all of this things, right?
She's very open about the fact that she's thinks maybe we're woohoo.
Yes. So we went there a couple weeks ago, so we had a spirit night there, and I had a message come through, and I was like, does anyone know the name Doreen? Like, this was just us. Everyone hadn't showed up yet. And she's like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know Doreen. And I said, well, I have a message, someone, but she goes, but she's alive. And I said, yes, but this is messages for her. It's a mail coming through. And he's wanting to be the support because he wasn't able to support her while he was alive. And he's now there supporting her, but also saying that her breathing will get better. And then her jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Her mother-in-law's name's Doreen. She just got out of the hospital with pneumonia. And the person that used to be her partner, they assume died. They don't know where he is. But he was very selfish, wouldn't take care of her, and now he's supporting her. So she had her moment. She's still shook, but in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we had to work with that energy, but we just push through and do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is too is that like there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. I think that it's healthy to have
I think so
skepticism.
too.
Yeah.
I've
And
had to look at it that way too, yes. Yeah.
yeah. And
It's very
and you know, on an energetic level, like when we do connect with somebody that's maybe not as open, even if they think they're open, if they're having
Yes, I
expectations
that
of
too.
I'll
Yeah.
only believe this if they talk about, like I had somebody once say to me, okay, you're gonna prove you're real if you tell me what color sweater I was wearing at my grandmother's funeral 25 years ago. And, you know, I remember just sitting there like I couldn't get past what the request was. But I
Yeah.
just flat out said to her, I said to her, it's not really how it works, you know? And that's for me, I'm going to be completely honest. This is how I perceive it. This is how it feels. This is how it comes through. Some things come through that I could never even dream of or imagine. And sometimes I have to reach a bit to ask them for more
Exactly.
information. But it's
Yeah.
not up to us.
It's not up
It's
to us.
not a magic trick. Yeah.
Exactly. And I get that too, because I don't know why some spirits want to give me more information and then others want to hold back a little bit. But it's trusting the process that they're coming through in a way that it's meant to be.
That's right. And just
It's
like
yeah.
with the manager of the retreat, if you had a sat down and say scheduled a reading and she wasn't really into it, say, or, you know, what have you, there's a time and a place for everything. And sometimes readings that we have, we don't know if that reading is to plant a seed and they're going to get information in another way somewhere else. You know, that the reading that we're giving could be that opening point to allow them to start to explore a little bit. Like there's so many things at play that we may not have any idea. And that's this walk of trust because we already know.
Yep.
We already know, okay, I'm showing up. I know that my heart is open. I know that I do the best that I can and I'm honest. And that's all I can be. I know my connection and where I'm at. And I trust what comes through. I don't have to figure out the why it came through that way. I don't have to
Exactly.
figure out all the details. It's my job to repeat that, to give it with love in the best ability I can, and then not hold on to how it lands or not hold on to what's done with it afterwards.
Exactly.
And that
Like for
takes
that,
a lot of courage.
it does. It does. And like for that example, like I had no idea that was going to be for her. I was just
Right.
getting information and just
Yes. So it was able to come out without
getting
any
had no idea who it was
preconceived.
for or the details about it. You become almost, I feel anyway, vulnerable in a way. Because like we said from the beginning, like I'm not very good at public speaking, so I've really had to get out of my comfort zone. But when you're standing up there in front of 60 people, and normally I would have notes and be prepared, it really helps me grow as an individual as well. So I'm working on my own issues too, as well as being able to help people.
Yeah. I think that's amazing.
It's
That's why I
nerve-wracking,
always
but putting myself
it
out there
is.
and doing it, I think is the only way to get over it, or at least better at it. I don't think I'll fully get over
Yeah.
it, but
Is just keep
better
working
at
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I keep my first video that I ever made on my on this channel. Maren, you and I talked about this recently. If you go back to the beginning, the very first video on this channel, you can all have a nice good laugh because it's pretty funny. And I purposely leave it there because that was the first video I ever recorded after I was not in my hospital bed anymore, but I was at the point where I knew I was ready to start putting something out there, and my voice was shaking and I was nervous, and I did it in one shot, and I pushed myself. I'm going to post it. I'm going to put it out there. And I think I had one follower, which was probably my husband at the time. And I don't even think he watched it. But
I can relate.
Yeah.
You just got to do it sometimes. Yeah. But Teddi also helps me. Like she's there for these events because we do stuff together. But she grounds me. She's like support system.
I'm not so afraid of the public speaking. So if I feel like, oh, she's getting a little, I'll take over and I can talk and talk.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I don't know if I honestly, I don't know if I would have the courage to do it if you weren't there.
Yeah, just as I wouldn't have with Reiki.
Well, I was thinking, would you guys come back again and maybe take us on a journey?
Absolutely.
Come back and take us that would be really fun. Don't you think, Maren? Take our community and take us on a journey. Because I can feel the energy when you were speaking earlier. There's like a meditative, I can feel your voice. I'm like starting to kind of drift into that space. So I think that, we need to do this and give everybody a little sample of how it feels, and take us there. So we'll do this again. We'll come back again. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today and getting up nice and early on the weekend to do this filming with us.
Thank you very much. I was too nervous, so
I'm an early.
All good. And it would be fine. I just, it's that.
Yeah, nerves.
The nerves. Right?
I was nervous too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, absolutely.
Nerves too,
you guys.
Yeah, we're really glad to have you and so excited for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So everybody, check these guys out. Check out their website. Again, it's all in the description below. And get in there, get a booking, talk to these ladies. They're going to be back again. But please look at their website and go through the offerings and what is available. And I know, because the intention has already been set. We've done it. I know that we're going to be doing a collaboration, a retreat, something.
I know. Eric's been telling me that for a long time.
Yeah.
We actually talked about it a couple of days ago about maybe coming
that way
down your way, maybe doing something. Yeah.
Something's coming. This is the year, guys. Year number 9, and year number 9 is a lot of things have wrapped up, and we are in this new beginning. And so a lot of intentions that have been set a long time ago. Yes, the shift is big.
Energy shift, not only collaboratively, but collectively. Like within myself, I feel different.
Yeah. Same. Anything you want to add, Maren, before we wrap up this beautiful circle today?
Thank you both so much for coming. I really enjoyed hearing your story. I am so intrigued about the crystal healing, and I can't wait to work with you guys and go on my journey. And I wish you the best with your retreats and all of your things that you guys are collaborating together on. I think that's amazing. I love that you have each other too, and that you support each other. It's so dynamic. So thank you so much.
It is. It is. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Always. Well, guys, it is the closing of another Mentorship with Mondays. Mentorship Mondays. I'm still
Get your
back on
garlic
the
stick.
chicken wing. The chicken wing. It's probably because of Super Bowl Sunday, the chicken wings. Okay, anyway.
Chicken wings.
Let's just erase that. Let's just erase that. See you guys next time. See you next Monday. Have an awesome week. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you make comments below and share this with lots of people that need to hear this, that need a little inspiration and a little pick me up, because we're not only the spiritual one-stop shop, we're funny too. We're a good time.
All right. Bye,
Okay.
everyone. Bye, Jen. Bye, Teddi.
See you later. Bye, guys.